Hello, this is Brian with King Grizzly. We just finished up a few builds, so I thought I would just kind of run through them really quick to show people what can be done in Elementor. So there's three sites to show you. One is a rebuild of Oswald Chambers' website. He's kind of a famed devotional writer, so we did a migration and rebuild. And then there's a women's podcast called God Hears Her that's becoming somewhat popular. So we did a migration of that podcast from Squarespace to WordPress, and then a conference for another organization using more of a dark theme in WordPress and Elementor. So I'll just poke around these for a couple of minutes for anyone who might be curious. Well, number one, these two are for the same organization, Our Daily Bread, who they've really been great to work with, but we wanted to keep the branding across the two sites to feel, like it was made for and by the same group and with the same group. So hopefully we've achieved that. What's interesting about this one is when you land on the homepage, depending on where you are in the world, you'll get a link to a devotional for the day. So Oswald wrote a bunch of daily thoughts, or at least his thoughts have been broken into daily sort of devotional items or meditative items people can read. Depending on where you are, it will pull up today's devotional for your time zone. So if I click on this, I'm getting the one for Colorado, but if I was on the other side of the world, I might be getting the August 15th one. So it's pretty nice and clean, easy to consume. And then there's a switcher here, so someone can switch and look at a different day, get a different reading. And then there's also actually three different versions. So we've got a switcher to go between the versions. So this took some work to migrate all this and to make it feel tidy like this. So then there's just some kind of informational type pages where people can compare the different versions. There's some information about Oswald Chambers. Who was he? This funny little background effect here was actually tricky to build, believe it or not, to make it mobile responsive. So we feel good about that. Yeah, so just nice and clean. The main thing is easy to consume content, easy to read sort of the value propositions and navigate around and follow the site through. So feeling good about this site. There's an explore page which allows people to browse through some sort of like blog style resources. So we can filter those down or do some sort of a live search that will just kind of filter the results on the fly. So this God Hears Her podcast is another big migration, moving all the podcast episodes and blog posts out of Squarespace, which was a fair amount of work. And we actually used a little bit of AI to help us sanitize the information that was coming across. There's a little Instagram feed coming into the bottom, but people are mostly here for the podcast. So information about the podcast staff and ways to consume that. It's coming in from a podcast streaming platform that's quite popular, but we actually built like a podcast player, which of course it's taking a couple seconds to load now that I'm demoing it, but it pulls that in into a nice little player here, and then the episode information is tucked into these kind of like nice little Elementor tabs, so we can have the guests info. We can even have comments. People can leave WordPress comments. So yeah, I thought that was kind of nice and easy to use. Some information about these products. They have some really cool products. We've been experimenting with like a little ticker here, or a marquee as some people call it. And so there's ways to click through and see some of those products in the shop. The shop is not, this one's not actually a cart. We're just linking out. But again, the same pattern of being able to filter content. So like if I wanted to just see the Spanish products, I can click on that filter. Filters down. If we go to mobile, this should work well across all devices. You see the filters collapse and we get a little bit of a different nav experience for that. So yeah, good site in my opinion. And then the last one is a conference, and we're actually trying a new widget for mobile here. I don't know how it'll do in the browser, but on the phone it works great. So instead of a typical drop down, we get sort of a full screen takeover. So yeah, on the phone this is more animated. It fades in and fades out, but this is a newer Elementor feature called the off canvas widget, which we're excited to use that more. It seems pretty interesting. So This one, we liked it because it's a dark theme. It was fun to work kind of in an inverse. Again, another ticker effect. I actually just put up a little tutorial on how to do this. Some speaker info, a little bit of video content playing while people browse the page. And on this one in particular, we had a couple of custom post types where, like if you go to the speakers, you can click through and get more information on that speaker. So this is very dynamic on the back end. It's easy to manage, and any kind of talks that are related to this person. And of course, event details about this particular conference. So what can you learn about this conference? And here's the schedule. So yeah, just thought it'd be kind of fun to show off what we've been up to in case there's anybody else who has needs for migration to WordPress or from WordPress to a new WordPress site or needs help with a Elementor build. This is what we spend a lot of time doing and really enjoy doing. So if you need a hand with anything along these lines, we would love to chat. All right, have a good day.